Tierra Destiny. I am so excited that you are with us today. I have a person that is near and dear to my heart here in the studio today, Miss Errica Bishop. Thank you so much, Errica, for being here.
Thank you so much, Tiara. I'm so honored to be here with you.
And I'm so excited. Errica has recently published Master Your Emotions, Master Your Life. Errica, please talk to us. What is emotional intelligence? I hadn't really heard about it before I met you.
Well, emotional intelligence has been a methodology that we have used in corporate America for a very, very long time. Emotional intelligence is how to be aware of, how to communicate, how to identify and express your emotions in a clear manner, and how to manage those outside relationships. So oftentimes when you think about corporate America, it's about how do I help tap into the what drives my employees to help them be more productive,
Right.
to create a high-powered work team.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so we've used that in corporate America a lot. But what I have found with that, there's a lifestyle of emotional intelligence that you can actually live. Because when you think about managing your relationships, managing who you are as an individual, our relationships are the ones that sometimes we have the most challenges with. So when you think about your coworkers in the workplace, you have those different relationships, but then you also think about family. And how do you handle those relationships with family when they get a little bit edgy at times,
Yes.
when you have to have some critical conversations? How do I do that and identify the triggers of those things that cause me to become anxious, cause me to become angry, and I not understand what they are and how I manage those emotions?
Wow, I love that. And so you were introduced to it through your corporate career?
I was introduced to it through my corporate career. I've been a trainer in it for several years now and just leadership development. But I found that when I started using that in the home and with my children, and how I had my relationships with my children, I saw them show up differently, especially in their teenage years. You know, it can be a little different in their teenage years.
Wow.
I saw them showing up a little bit differently in our relationship together as a single parent, and even in my co-parenting with my ex-husband.
Wow. So I think it's so interesting that Errica has been able to take leadership development courses from corporate America and translate it into her personal relationships and her parenting relationships with her children. Errica, talk to me a little bit about that because there are so many people who are parents who are watching the show who want to enhance the relationship with their children. I know I do. So talk to me a little bit about emotional intelligence and how it translates and relates to parenting.
So when we think about emotional intelligence as a whole, one of the first steps is your own self-awareness.
Okay.
And to understand who you are and why you communicate the way you do, why you show up every day the way you do. And oftentimes it's rooted in our childhood experiences and understanding our true personality type.
Okay.
So if anyone's familiar with Myers-Briggs and some of the other different personality tests that you can take, you begin to really see what is my total makeup. Because emotional intelligence is also associated with your IQ.
Okay.
So that's a little bit different. But also, then you have your personality. So your IQ, your EQ, emotional quotient, and your personality all make up who you are as an individual. So when you understand your personality, you know, your root of how you were reared, the decisions you make as a parent, and you tap into that first, then you can understand how do I manage my relationships with my children. So say, for instance, you may be a passive or permissive parenting style. So you look at that from a standpoint, you don't put a lot of restrictions on your children. And could it have been you were reared in a situation where you had a lot of restrictions? So you decided, well, I'm not going to do that to my children, so I'm going to be a little bit more permissive. Okay. And then you have the dismissive parenting style. That could be a situation where they have emotional challenges, but I don't know how to handle them. So I'll dismiss them because I'm a little uncomfortable with the situation and I don't know how to handle it. So I'll hopefully let time take care of it instead of me being that nurturing parent that wants to talk through, help them understand and come to a solution. And then you may have a situation where it may be a disapproving parenting style, which means that sometimes a person may feel like I just can't do enough to please my parent. It seems like every time I try to do something, there's another step I have to make to be better. I'm a straight A student, but I should have been perfect. Or I may have had all B's, but I didn't have all A's. So you have those different situations, and then you have to look at, why do I show up that way? What was it that allowed me to make the decisions to parent the way that I do?
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. So, if I understand you correctly, based on how we were raised, we may make a conscious decision or sometimes subconscious decision to parent differently,
Or the
or
same.
we repeat it. Wow. But if we're conscious, we can choose.
We can choose. We can choose. And it's also about how we choose it and why we choose it. And it's about how intentional we are about how we want to express our emotions. Unfortunately, there may be some situations where you've been in a relationship with your parents and they didn't necessarily show a lot of affection.
Okay.
So you may understand that you have someone who's maybe emotionally unavailable because they didn't necessarily get that when they were younger, or it may have been a traumatic experience that they had as a child, and they've learned how to suppress their emotions or their engagement from a affectionate standpoint, meaning touching, hugging, saying I love you, because of a traumatic experience that they've had.
Wow. Today's segment has been brought to you by our sponsors, The Essence of Excellence, ACT Score Booster, and MarriagesCanWin.com. Be sure to subscribe to Tierra Destiny and Friends via YouTube and enter your email address at TierraDestinyRead.com for more updates, free online training, and details on our next live taping.